Okay, welcome to lesson 6. Let's move into some new topics. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Let's talk about understanding positive, negatives, and their representation of a number. Understanding that positive and negatives representations of a number are opposite in direction and value. Extend the understanding of the number line to include all rational numbers, and the key word here is all of them. Apply this concept to the coordinate plane. So we'll get to talk about what the coordinate plane is. Understand the concept of opposite numbers, including 0 and their relative location on the number line. Understand that the signs of the coordinates in the ordered pairs indicate their location on an axis or a quadrant on the coordinate plane. Recognize when ordered pairs are reflections of each other on the coordinate plane across one axis, both axes, or the origin. Plot rational numbers on the number lines and ordered pairs on the coordinate planes. So for today, let's talk about plotting rational numbers. And we'll see where else we can get into. All right, so over here I have drawn two number lines. The first one has more numbers and the second one is zoomed in. So we need to understand that if 0 is in the middle, to the right of 0 are positive numbers. To the left of 0 are our negative numbers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and we have -1, -2, -3, -4 to the left. But let's zoom in. So we'll draw another number line. We'll put a lot more space between 0 and 1 and 0 and -1. Because it said we have to be able to plot rational numbers, all rational numbers. And we should understand, excuse me, hopefully we understand that 1, 2, 3, and 4 are natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. 0 is a whole number and an integer, and the negative numbers are integers. But these aren't the only rational numbers, because rational numbers can be written as a fraction. So that means there's fractions on the number line. So let's see if we can do it. Halfway between 0 and a half, halfway between 0 and 1 is a half. Well, halfway between 0 and a half is a fourth. Halfway between a fourth and 1 is 3/4. So we know 1/4, a half, 3/4. Well, a half is the same as saying 2/4, isn't it? So that's really 1/4, 1/2, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, a whole fourths, which is 1. But there are other tick marks in here. So now, what is halfway between 0 and a fourth? That's 1/8. And then to get the rest, what I'm gonna do underneath these numbers, I'm gonna erase the 2/4, you can too. Underneath these numbers, I'm gonna write them so their denominator is an 8, so it all fits. 1/8. 1/4 is the same as saying 2/8. So then what's missing? 3/8. A half is the same as saying 4/8. What's next then? 5/8. 3/4 is the same as saying 6/8. What's missing? 7/8. And then of course 8/8 is the whole 1. So look at these positive rational numbers. 1/8, 1/4, 3/8. 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8. These all fit on the number line. So if the positives are here, that means the negatives are here. So let's go ahead and fill those in. Now, because we did the positives, we know what the negatives should be. So let's see if we can get it first. So just to make sure it makes sense, I'll start by doing halfways. All right, so halfway is negative a half. Halfway between 0 and negative a half is negative a fourth. Halfway between negative a half and negative 1 is negative 3/4. And then let's fill in the rest. Negative 1/8, negative 3/8, negative 5/8, negative 7/8. So when you zoom in your number line, you're going to see your fraction numbers, not just your integers, because these are all integers. But remember, an integer is also a rational number because it can be written as a fraction where the denominator is a 1. So this is us plotting rational numbers on a number line. So then can this extend beyond 1? Yes. This would be 1 and 1/8. I should probably get a little closer, but it's okay. This would be 1 and 1/4, and so on. Remember, these can be written as improper fractions. So this is really 9/8, and this is really 5/4. And if this doesn't fit on your paper because it's just too long, then I understand you don't have to show all of this extra stuff that I have. But you do have to understand beyond 1, these fractions will repeat, but they'll go along with their whole number. So eventually we'll see 3 and 7/8, 5 and 3/4. Those go on the number line as well. Now, one last thing I want to talk about before we end the video, because this is just like an introduction into these topics. What is the coordinate plane? You may have heard of a number line, but have you heard of a coordinate plane? Have you heard of the word quadrant or axis or the origin? Let's draw it. This is a coordinate plane. Mine's a little crooked. Let me fix that. This is a coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is two number lines that meet in the middle. In the middle here is called the origin. And it's written like an ordered pair. Why is it ordered? Because it's in order. Why is it a pair? Because it's two numbers. They're written inside parentheses. The origin is the location 0, 0 is where the number lines meet at 0, 0. That's called the origin. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. To the right of the origin on the x-axis is where you get the positive numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left of it is where you get the negative numbers. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Well, if you go up from the origin, you're on the y-axis, and that's where you get the positive numbers when you go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, of course, it goes beyond 5. I just have a small coordinate plane, so I'll stop at 5. If I go down from the origin, that's where I get the negative numbers. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So now let me show you some examples that's already prepared. These are coordinate planes. Do you see how the numbers work? You see 0 in the middle. That's the origin. To the right of 0, you get positive numbers. To the left of 0, you get negative numbers. Above 0, you get positive numbers. Below 0, you get negative numbers. Whenever you plot ordered pairs, you gotta match where the X and the Y number go together. This is called quadrant 1. So you don't have to draw these, just listen, please. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. Oops. This is quadrant 4. Now, sometimes you'll see them with Roman numerals, so this is really quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. And then the Roman numeral for 4 is a 1, an I, and then a V. That makes it 4. There's 4 quadrants. When X and Y are both positive, you're in quadrant 1, and then it goes backwards or counterclockwise. Clockwise goes like this. Counterclockwise goes like that, the reverse direction. So when X, because this is still the X-axis, when X is negative but Y is positive, you're in quadrant 2. When they're both negative, you're in quadrant 3. And when X is positive but Y is negative, you're in quadrant 4. So let's go back. Let's write out another vocabulary word that we're learning. Ordered pair. An ordered pair is literally the X, comma, the Y. It's in order. So like think about alphabetical order. X comes before Y, and it's a pair, so there's 2 of them. X, comma, Y. So just in the video, I'm gonna show you where the ordered pair of 2, comma, 5, -3, comma, 7 are in my coordinate plane. You don't have to write this down because I'm gonna go back to the actual coordinate plane on paper. So 2, comma, 5, 2 was in the X location, 2 is in the X location, 5 is in the Y location. 2 for X, 5 for Y. So this is the same as saying go right 2, up 5. So please write this part down. Write down this. The ordered pair 2, comma, 5 with the parentheses, the X and the Y, put the arrow, right 2, up 5. And then we'll do the example -3, comma, 7. X, Y. This is telling me to go left 3, up 7. So that's like telling me that your house is 2 blocks to the right, 5 blocks up, or the school is 3 blocks to the left, 7 blocks up. All right, now I'm gonna actually go do it. I start at the origin, so I start here in the middle. I go 2 to the right, and I'm here. And then I go 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see a point. This point is 2, comma 5. I only put 1 point even though I'm using 2 numbers. Then we had -3, comma 7. Well, the -3 is in the X, so that's telling me to go to the left first, 3, and I'm here. And then I go up 7, and I'm here. This is the point, -3, comma 7. And this is a coordinate plane. And those are ordered pairs. Now, this is where we'll end this video. So for the next few videos, we'll focus on these topics, the number line and the coordinate plane. Thanks for watching. See you next time.